mentioned multi-sport. I saw some of your posts, like you've been joining marathons. When did that journey begin? Were you always sporty as a kid? Were you a health buff or?
No. I am not gifted with good genes in athletics. Definitely my parents are not into sports. But I did love basketball. But I wasn't really a good basketball player. I was just an average person who likes to enjoy playing basketball. Not the type na varsity or or star player. I'm not that type. I'm just, I'm not flexible. I don't have good lateral movement. So I'm not gifted genetically in athleticism. But there's so much in sports that I love. I love the discipline. I love the preparation. I love the competition. Those are the things that I love in sports. And eventually in 2017, I was diagnosed with an injury called annular tear. And the annulus is in our spine, and it had a tear. So I was advised na you cannot play basketball. It's difficult for you. I always had back pain. I couldn't even straighten my body sometimes.
So you weren't injured. There were just symptoms of pain.
It's probably genetic because my grandfather, I see him, he wasn't walking straight anymore when he was old. So the lower back pain was there. And I couldn't even walk or sit nicely, so it was that bad. Then, I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, of course, we're not gonna suggest a surgery. We're just gonna suggest you to tweak your lifestyle. And what does that mean? You're not playing basketball anymore. You shift your sports to swimming, because swimming is low impact.
Not very intense, right?
And it develops your core. And it's a full body workout. Then I said, okay, I swim going back and forth. This is so different from the excitement and adrenaline that I get from basketball. So what can I do? I mean, this is torture. Then I thought, at the back of my mind, hey, swimming is part of an Ironman event. So I said, might as well join Ironman. Then I said, of course I can't bike because I have a bad back injury and I can't run. So I said, okay, I'll form a team with my best friends, Dr. Pierre Melia and Dr. Soy Peña. Let's form a relay team. So I did the swim, Pierre did the bike, and Dr. Peña did the run. The swim was a very tough thing for me because I didn't know how to swim freestyle. I just knew kanang simple lang a swim ba, kanang baki-baki ba. I didn't even know kanang competitive swimming. So I started from zero, so I decided to join Ironman 70.3 Cebu August 2017. And I didn't know how to swim March 2017 pa. So I got a coach.
Quite recent, not too long ago.
I got a coach. The coach taught me the basics, and I asked my coach, Coach, makahuman ka ko aning Ironman swim? Siya, Sir, wa man ka time giapas. Kahuman ra lagi ka basta. There was a 70-minute cut-off, by the way, And if I don't make it to the cut-off, the entire team is disqualified. If I cannot swim 1.9 kilometers in 70 minutes, my biker and runner could not continue. So there was so much pressure on me. And then Cebu was known to have a difficult swim course because of the current. Eventually, I was like training every day and really giving it my all. And even while swimming, you get to a point where you ask, why am I even doing this? It was that intense. So, but I was able to make it. We were able to finish our first really competition. And eventually, I found the Ironman atmosphere very exciting, and I felt it was very, adrenaline. There's a lot too much adrenaline. So I said, okay, I want to do all three: the swimming, biking, and running. And I was told, okay, you can do that, but you have to strengthen your core. So I went through a very long process of strengthening my core. I have a good physical therapist who helps me on that. And basically, later on, I started biking and then running, and the rest is history.
How many Ironmans have you joined in total?
If I'm not mistaken, it should be around 7 or 8 half Ironmans. 70.3. And the reason why I got into marathons lately is because we have ambitions to join a full Ironman. So what we have in Cebu is half na siya. Kanang 1.9 kilometer swim, 90 kilometer bike, and 21 kilometer run. Half na siya. Ang full is double. 3.8 kilometer swim, 180 kilometer bike. After that, you have to run 42 km pa. So I said, I have to at least start practicing for a 42 km run. Okay? I have never done that, and my first was last January 2023 sa Cebu Marathon. And it was so painful. Sakit kayo, okay? Imagine running 42 kilometers. I found it even more difficult than a half Ironman, to be honest. Then eventually, later on, my muscles started to adapt, and I got my personal best in Berlin. I finished 42 kilometer run in 3 hours and 39 minutes. This is almost around 12 kilometers per hour.
So this is your best record?
So far. Of course, I'm aiming to qualify for Boston. And to qualify for Boston, I have to finish a full marathon in less than 3 hours. So that's what I'm training for. That means I have to run mga 14 plus kilometers per hour. The entire 42 km.
So like now, how often do you run or train?
I train almost every day.
This is outdoor or
indoor?
Treadmill?
I do indoor na lang. My races are cold naman coming. I have New York Marathon coming on November 5. And then I have California Ironman, half Ironman on December 3. So these are cold settings. So I don't need to acclimatize to the hot weather. Katong mga Philippine races, I needed to train outdoors. I need to acclimatize to the heat. Kani bugna no, that's why I'm getting my complexion back. There was a time I was very dark. Kasi silang buwad sa init ba?
Yeah. Bro, you're half Filipino.
Yeah, half Filipino. My father is an Iranian, formerly called Persia. And my mom's a pure Filipina. So I'm half Filipino, half Iranian.
Okay. Any training tips on people who want to improve? Of course, the discipline is hard, especially with swimming and running, because unlike basketball, it's of course interactive, or even boxing. So the time goes by fast. With running, you have to be focused. So where do you find that?
Number one advice, consistency. In endurance sport, you really need consistency. Apart from the typical, you need to be disciplined, persistent, passionate. I need to say you need to be consistent. No matter how slow you are, how short you can run, as long as you consistently do it on a regular basis, on a day, if you could do it on a daily basis, you're definitely going to improve.
How do you handle the boredom when running?
That's my gift.
What do you think about?
I think about improving only. I think about getting faster. That's what keeps me like running in the treadmill for 1 hour, 2 hours, or swimming in the pool for 10 kilometers. I've done that. It's always thinking about, I'm gonna be better because I'm doing this. So it's really my hunger for improvement, because as a multi-sport athlete, our goal is always to be better than
beating your own previous record.
Than yesterday. So, but I also look at myself against others. Like, my ultimate goal is to be in the top 10% of prestigious competition like the World Marathon Majors. And in Berlin, I was in the top 20%. So my goal is to be in the top 10%. So that's like how that's how I compare myself against others. But it's not like I want to be number one. That's impossible. I cannot be Kipchoge or diba? It's impossible. I just look at myself as a person in terms of percentages. So for those aspiring to be runners or multi-sport athletes, it's really consistency that you have to do. And the benefits are very tangible. It gives you mental and physical
clarity, focus.
Exactly. It gives you a lot of mental and physical benefits. Physical, of course, a healthier heart,
energy, clearer mind, better
clearer
sleep.
mind. But of course, in my case, like training so hard actually sometimes makes me tired. It makes me sleep more than the required 8 hours to recover. So it depends on the level actually. But for an average person, like 30 minutes to 1 hour of exercise can really help clearing the mind, giving you energy as you go throughout your day.
The race you ran, was that where Kipchoge joined?
He was there.
He was there.
Eliud Kipchoge won that race actually in Berlin, and it was, I think, his 5th or 6th win in Germany. He's been winning that course, but there's a guy who Kiptum who actually beat Kipchoge's record. Actually, their only difference is a few seconds. But he did the full marathon in 2 hours and 35 seconds. To give you a perspective, that's like 21 kilometers per hour of speed. So if you go to a treadmill...
What pace is that?
Pace is around 2 minutes plus per kilometer. So imagine in the treadmill, when you press 10, for some people, kusog na kayo ng 10. And 10 is like only 6 minutes per kilometer.
6-minute pace, no?
Di ba?
Then that's already hago.
Hago na sa uban.
Like you can't keep that up throughout.
Kato si Kiptum was, imagine, 21 siya. That's like 2-minute kapin pace.
Oh, very fast.
Very fast. Ako, I practice at 12 to 13, which is around 5 minutes to 4 minutes and 30 seconds pace per kilometer.
You consider Kipchoge the greatest marathoner of all time? Who are your idols in that
Actually,
field?
no, it's not really as dramatic as it is in basketball. I think we all have our picks on who's the greatest basketball player. In running, I think Kipchoge is definitely up there, primarily because he's done it several times. He's 38 years old, and he still keeps on winning. So, as we know, as we age, we start to lose that.
But even at that age, he's
still competing. No? But I'm not really the type who follows who's the best runner or stuff. Okay. I'm still a basketball fan.
Who's your greatest?
Good question.
Basketball. Are you one of those who get into the Jordan LeBron
No,
debate?
I'm not in the mood for that debate. But I did get a very good insight from a learning event in entrepreneurs organization called. We had a talk with Norman Black, which just happened last Saturday, and he was asked who do you think is the greatest basketball player, and his answer was, it really depends on what era you are. Because if you are in an era where you never saw Michael Jordan play, you'll never get to appreciate his greatness. You'll really be very convinced that it's LeBron James. But for people who were born in the 80s,
those who actually witnessed,
Michael Jordan knows that Jordan was one of the best. But I'm a very big LeBron James fan because I just love the... Not only the way he plays. I mean, I like the way he brands himself, he projects himself in terms of how he is a family man and his choices of products and things. I like that. But of course, Jordan was one of the greatest. But a lot of people who were born in the 60s and 70s think that the greatest is probably Magic Johnson, or probably the greatest is Larry Bird,
Chamberlain.
Will Chamberlain, di ba? It really
Or
depends on
Bill
what
Russell.
era. It really
Yeah,
depends on what era, di ba? You are. So I think that debate will never end. There is no objective way of knowing
Well,
who's the
siguro
greatest.
championships and stats, but of
Well,
course,
one person cannot win a championship.
different playing eras, so different style.
But interestingly, Norman Black finished his statement with, "I still think Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all time."
Yeah. Well, me personally, I consider Jordan the greatest. But of course,
Of course, if he was
that's
born in this
opinion.
era, if Jordan was playing in this era, he will have access to the advancements in training
Yeah.
of this era as well. Because the playing field is not equal. During that time, you will see them, sige lag weights, Now it's more on core strengthening. Kita ang LeBron.
Well, it's more advanced now.
It's more advanced, diba?
The
Because they have
trainings,
more
the regiments.
they have more research, more
even
knowledge.
the nutrition, and so forth.
So if you put the two people side by side in the same era, they have access to the same preparation. And that will be a fairer debate.
Yeah. But with basketball, it's very hard because it's a team sport.
It's a team sport, exactly. Diba?
Plus different
So
competition.
championships is never. Otherwise, if championships is the barometer, then you would probably go
Bill Russell.
Bill Russell,
with
who has
11.
rings in all of his fingers.
Okay. Yeah. Going back to running, what about shoes? Do you have a favorite like Nike, Adidas? Because now you hear about Vaporfly, Alphafly,
Yes, good question. Good question. I like that question.
Pegasus, Adios 3,
Adios,
all
Adios
that.
Pro. Correct. The truth is,
Or
the
even
best-
Asics. I've heard Asics is
Correct.
good, New Balance and all that.
the answer is, for me, and I've read about this, the answer is it really depends on a particular person, what is the best shoe for him or her. Every shoe is designed differently.
Depends on your foot.
Depends
how it
on your
feels,
foot.
your experience with it.
Like me, I have all. I have Hoka, I have Adidas, I have Asics, I have Nike. I have all those pairs of shoes.
What's your favorite?
But I still wear the Nike. Just because the Nike really fits well to me. But
Which
it's not
one?
Alpha Fly. But it's not even perfect. My Alpha Fly that I always use in marathons kills my toenails. If I go to Vaporfly, it doesn't kill my toenail, but it's already tiring sa akong legs after 21K. So murag,
Different
pros and
experiences.
cons. Pros and cons. Like, which disadvantage are you willing to swallow? That's always the key there.
But some shoes are more for training, diba? Some are more for race.
Yes, there is.
So
there
it
is
depends.
there is such thing as that training shoe and racing shoe. But in my case, I use always the shoe. I train in the shoe that I race on. That's usually what I do. But if you want to be efficient and cost effective, you don't use your race shoes for your training. Okay, race shoes man good is like a race tire. Dali sige mahilis.
Yeah.
In fact, the latest shoe that Adidas is offering in the market at $500 per pair, the Adidas Adios Evo Pro, is only good for one marathon.
Oh.
One marathon
One
and
use
one
only.
use. Tanaw ni Muluyo, murag yung Pirelli.
Last pag na.
Kanang kuan kay ba? Grabe ka ni. Because they're trying to lose weight.
Okay.
Running, biking, swimming, maybe not swimming, running and biking, weight is a very big determinant of speed. The heavier you are, the slower you are. The lighter you are, the faster you are. So if your shoes is lighter, that's an advantage. That's incremental advantage. Mo na siya.
Okay.